Eco-Innovation is set up as an incubator and an accelerator where we provide the much needed support and handholding for startups who are working in those focus areas in which we provide support and structure to be able to scale their businesses. And over the years, I mean, in the last series of episodes, we have brought in precisely 101 episodes of TechBiz. We have brought in different subject matter experts who have graced the platform and have taken us through different topics where they've shared their knowledge, shared their insights about how startups can better run their businesses and become successful at scaling their businesses, which again forms the core of the mission for which Eco-Innovation was set up and established to provide not only the incubation for the ideas, but as an accelerator to help startups be able to scale up and to be able to scale up successfully. And that's why we are gathered here this evening. And it's my pleasure to be able to have you in here with us. And again, if you want to be able to watch any of the previous episodes, I mean, the 101 episodes of TechBiz that we have had before now, please feel free to go to www.ecoicenter.com/webinar. My colleagues will be dropping the chats in the chat room now. And feel free to go through any of those webinars and drop your comments and let us know if you need any other information to support, because we also have a community of about 2,500 to 3,000 members. My colleagues also are dropping that link in the chat room, which that link you can also be able to connect with not only the facilitators of these sessions, but also so many other subject matter experts and thought leaders in the tech ecosystem are also in that particular group, which is called the TechBiz Forum, where we provide much needed support and insight for people who have questions that will help them in the journey of entrepreneurship. Okay, so thank you very much for joining us. Can I have the technical team drop the link into the chat room, the link into the group, and also drop into the chat room the location for the previous 101 webinars. Please drop that into the chat room now so that our people also on the call can be able to join that. So today I find is an interesting topic, and I think it's a topic that's relevant for a time such as this. Again, we have this being streamed across all the platforms, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and all the other platform we have, because we think this is one of the topics that I think is relevant for a time like this. When you look at what the global macro dynamics are and what the challenges are for startups, one of the things that affects scale up is, besides having the right institutional support to help startups scale up and manage the headwinds, is also ability to access funds and the right funds that they need to grow. However, in recent times, driven by the global challenges that they were seeing, and it's a global challenge, we see that access to the much needed financial resources in terms of grants, in terms of seed funding, that startups need to be able to commercialize their ventures, to be able to test their ideas and build MVPs is drying up. And also what they need to be able to run through the runway to ensure that they're able to move their businesses to be able to generate operational profit is also drying up. And again, this is coming because we see that there's a global challenge with fundraising right now. And therefore, it brings the need for startups who want to continue to remain relevant into the future to relook their business models and move away from depending on just investor funds to see how they can quickly monetize their ideas. Because, we're now in the world of valuation, but we need to be in the world of EBITDA. And what I think investors, VCs, angels, Ps are telling us is that our business models now need to begin to show revenue generation and begin to demonstrate profitability, and begin to show a path for the business to become sustainable in a financial manner. And this is going to be around for the foreseeable future, which means then the startups need to begin to understand how to move their ideas from ideation to not only launch, but how to move those startups and initiatives to begin to generate income and ultimately move to profitability, to be able to guarantee their sustainable income, the sustainability of their businesses. And that's why today's topic is looking, and again, it sits at the heart of what we do as startups in, because basically we are supposed to be driving the engine of growth of not only the economy, but in the industry where we find ourselves. And that's why today's topic is about monetization strategies for startups, and basically about unlocking value and revenue generation. Because now for us to attract those funds that we're talking about, revenue generation is becoming a critical success factor, a critical milestone. And today, again, we have another subject matter expert, who will be taking us through this session. He's demonstrated himself as a business leader over the years, and he's been focused working in this environment in driving revenue, sustainable revenue generation for the businesses he has led. Today, he sits as a CEO of a PropTech, Ramperson Homes and Properties Limited, where he's been able to move them into strong revenue generation, a very strong balance sheet, and of course, move into profitability. And being able to do that in a PropTech, again, shows his intense desire to not only move from having a valuable company, but a company that is sustainable into the near future. Our facilitator for today used to be an executive secretary of Nigerian Union in France from June 2013 to 2017, where he also brought in significant leadership capability to the whole union of Nigerians that are in France. Before then, he was director of communications and programs at Forward Ever, an empowerment initiative, where again he was able to move the non-for-profit into sustainability. In his capacity as the chair of the board of trustees from 2019 to 2020 at the same organization, his goal and his objective was to be able to build a sustainable, financially sustainable organization, which he was able to do. His career is defined by his exceptional ability to turn vision into revenue. His leadership and strategic thinking consistently yield impressive financial outcomes, making him a valuable asset in revenue generation and organizational growth. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today on the 102nd episode of TechBiz webinar. And please join me this evening to welcome to the platform and to share with us for the next 30 to 35 minutes. We're going to have Mr. Raphael Momodu, the Managing Director of Ramsey Homes and Properties Limited, take us to this session. Thank you, Mr. Raphael, and thank you for being a part of TechBiz today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Victor.
Yeah, and we do look forward to something. Yeah, thank you so much. Can we share your slides? I think we'll just share the slides and then you can have the floor from here.
Okay.
Great. Thank you. Or Mr. Raphael, do you want to share from your side? I'm wondering. Okay, fine, good. Here we are. So again, looking forward to this. You have the floor now as you share with us your strategies. Thank you, Mr. Raphael, for.
Thank you very much. Once again, I thank you, Mr. Victor Afolabi, the chairman and the board director for Startups Innovation Eco City. I thank you very much for this opportunity. I'll be taking this topic today, monetization strategy for startups, unlocking values and revenue generation. Monetization strategy is a plan to generate revenue from certain platform, audience, or type of content. As we know today, as startup is a very crucial part of our lifestyle, either as a company, either as an individual, in different strategy of our life. To generate income and revenue is the major source of the livelihood to sustain a company in anything or any capacity we are about to drive into. Monetization strategy for startup is majorly meant for, in order to increase revenue generation, we need some certain attitude, strategy, characters that needs to define us as a company or a startup. There is one thing that is very important for us as startup, which every startup at the beginning of setting up its business goals or as individual, it is one thing that is called resilience. We must be ready never to give up at the beginning. This topic is very crucial to our businesses because at the very point in time, we need to have this determination, because when you know where you are coming from and you know where you are going as startups, it is something that is very, very crucial to our life, because nobody enters into a business and comes out losing or without achieving his or his goals. The biggest benefit of a monetization strategy is increased revenue. Many publishers cannot exist on funding and donation alone. So they need to find innovative ways to meet their bottom line and generate a profit from their readership by building diverse monetization strategy across platforms. At this stage, we know that there are many strategies we can use to generate income, revenue, values for our individual companies and startups. But as startup, we need a particular concept to help us generate this or to help us unlock these values. Why does monetization and revenue generation, why does it matter to startup? It matters for sustainability, for growth and expansion, to attract investors, for innovations and improvement. To sustainability, revenue generation is necessary to ensure the long-term survival of a business. It provides the financial stability to wealth, challenging and adapting to changing circumstances. Monetization and revenue generation, essential aspects of running successful business. They provide the financial means to operate, grow, and thrive while attracting the confidence of investors, stakeholders, and employees. In order to sustain your company or your business as startup financially, you need certain capacity to drive this business to a long, sustainable length of time. For growth, revenue allows a company to invest in research and development, innovations and expression into new markets to production line. This can include expanding into a new geographical market, diversifying products or service, offering, acquiring other business, or opening new branches or location, such as revenue, profit, market sharing, or the number of customers or employees. Business growth. Business growth can be achieved through strategy like increased sales, entering a new market, developing new products or services, or improve efficiency. Increase profitability market dominance, or better serving their customers. However, it is important to pursue growth and expansion in a sustainable and responsible manner, taking into account factors like environmental impact, social responsibility, and long-term visibility. To attract investors, Demonstrating consistent revenue generation can attract investors and instill confidence in stakeholders, which can lead to additional funding and support for your business. You will need to effectively communicate your value proposition, demonstrate that it is a worthwhile opportunity here to some key steps to investors. That is to say, you have some certain capacity as a startup that will help investors to come in order for them to be attracted. Number one, you need to create a solid business plan, a good market research, financial projection, unique selling proposition. Your teamwork is very, very important at this point in time as a startup. Your milestone, networking, online platform, transparency, legal and compliances. Remember that attracting investors can be a lengthy process and rejection is very common because as a company or as a startup, some people have not been able to gain the trust of your company. Investing in your company will become difficult. I remember when I started I have a lot of process I have to go through. See, out of 120 proposals, I only got 5% at the beginning. So it was very difficult for us to get investors. But as we go on, we were able to scale to. It is essential to present and continuously refine your pitch and business strategy based on feedback and challenging circumstances, building relationship and trust with potential investors. Investors is the key to securing the funding you need. As investors, they need to gain your trust. They need to see the reason why they should invest in your company. Does it worth it investing in your company? So therefore, to attract investors, you need a strong team, online platform to project your business. Your business plan is very, very important as a startup. For innovation and improvement, revenue allows a company to invest in essential research and development, innovation and expansion into new markets or product line to foster innovation and continue improvement in your business or organization. Consider implementing the following strategy for innovations. You need to cultivate a cultural or innovation. You need to cultivate a cultural innovation. That is, innovation should be part of what you do. Set a clear objectives and goal. Invest in research and development. Allocate resources to R&D efforts to explore new technologies, process, and products. Stay up to date with industry, trend, and emerging technologies. Customers' feedback and market research. Very important as part of innovation and improvement. We need to allocate resources, including budget and talent, to support innovative. Continuous learning and development is part of what we need to have as a strategy for innovations and improvement. External partnership. Celebrate success. Share success stories to inspire and motivate employees is one of the best strategies that is also needed. We need feedback that allow employee and all levels to provide input and ideas to improve innovation and improvement. That is to say, even all our employers have the right to contribute to the company during the board meeting or during meetings that are important, so that no knowledge is wasted and nobody is being seen as less efficient in the company. Innovations and ongoing process that requires commitment, adaptability. It is not just covering up with new ideas, but also about implementing and refining them to create meaningful improvement in your products, services, and process. Innovation is something that we can't do without in order for us to advance as startup, as a new business, and especially in our country, where we have different varieties of companies at this point in time. Challenges we must face while trying to monetize ourselves as startup. Market saturation is something we can't do without. It's a stage most potential customers who are willing and able to purchase the product or services have already done. So as a result, further growth becomes challenging because there are few new customers to target. Companies may need to explore new markets, expand their product line, or find other strategies to sustain growth than faced with the market saturation. That is to say, market saturation is something that is very, very crucial to us. As startup, we must face these challenges. That is why, for example, I will use WhatsApp as an example. If you look at your mobile app for WhatsApp recently, there are some modifications. It's also part of their strategy because the market is saturated and everybody knows WhatsApp for what it used to be. They decided to modify, add services to their service. They don't have to engage. WhatsApp is now engaging Netflix and other products even while you are on WhatsApp. It is part of the monetization strategy. And because they know that what do people want again that WhatsApp do not have, they included those services to help them in their data process. Finding the right monetization model. Understanding your target audience is very important at this point in time. What are your users and customers? What are their preferences, their need and pain, their pinpoint? What are those things that is paining them? Knowledge, knowing your audience will help you tailor your monetization approach to their preference. That is to say, when you know what your customer needs, you understand your audience, then you will know what you are facing presently. Evaluate your product or service. Assess the nature of your product or services. It is a physical product or a digital service, a subscription-based offering, or something else. Different type of production services lend themselves in the way it suits the people you are targeting. Better to specify monetization model. Study the competition, analyze your competitors and industry peers that monetization model are their, and what they are using as their own model, and how successful are they with this model. This can provide valuable insight into what type of work or business you are offering. Considering multiple model. You need to consider multiple model also. Test and experiment. You need to test the monetization model you want to use. For example, what suits my company as a real estate does not have to suit cosmetic company, because we are aiming at different markets, different people, different preferences. We have different strategy to evaluate and test. What suits my company is in a different situation. For example, during the COVID-19, most companies were physically shut down. Most companies went on digital, and they were still thriving, but not in the same rate and percentage before the global disaster. Analyzing and cross revenue. Calculate the costs associated with implementing each monetization model, including operational experience, marketing costs, and customer acquisition experience, and also customer acquisition expenses also. Compare this cost to the revenue each model generates. That is, you have to test each model. Stay flexible. Market changes and customer preferences evolve. Be prepared to adapt and adjust your monetization strategy over time to stay competitive and meet changing demand. For example, I remember when I wanted to open my company, I have to go through different lawyers because some lawyers are popular. Their fee and charges for registering a company was very expensive. I said, okay, I have to go to other companies that are flexible to payment. They granted me offers like, okay, how much do you have to pay? Meeting some lawyers who are going to register my CAC, some were like, to register a standard company for you, Mr. Raphael, this is the amount I will take, and I'm not changing my fee. But because the other customers or the other people who are going to offer me the service are flexible to payment, like, okay, if you don't mind, okay, how much do you think you can pay? I went for it. That means the lawyer who registered my company has automatically been flexible enough in order to generate revenue for himself. Because if the cost was not favorable to me, I won't go with that person. So market flexibility is very, very important as startup. A lawyer of 10 years experience with 60 clients is different from a lawyer of 5 years experience with just 2 clients. There is great difference, and there is difference in income to which they generate to themselves. Experts seek advice. We need to seek advice from experts because, for example, you are in real estate and you know companies who are doing well and have grown better than yours. You meet them, discuss with them, and find a way to which you can add value to yourself by consulting them or by having them as role model. The right monetization model requires a combination of research, experimentation, and a deep understanding of your audience and product. It is an ongoing process that may require adjustments as your business evolves and the market changes. We need to know at a certain point, we have to change our strategy in the market because either it's not bringing the total income that we desire or expected, or is going to a point where we need to add more value to our product to attract more revenue. Economic downturns. Economic downturns refer to a period of contraction or decline in the economy overall performance during economic downturns. Key economic indicators such as GDP, gross domestic product, employment rate, and customer spending typically decrease. These downturns are characterized by reduced economic activities. For example, during COVID, economic activities was very reduced. People have to stay at home, offer services from online. So the services was limited to those who have access to internet, knowledge of the internet, and those who can operate with internet. Job loss. During this process, there is a lot of people who are going to lose their job. During COVID, we can see even in France, where a lot of people have not yet recovered from it. They lost their job. Many companies have to entrench workers to stay at home because they could not pay up to salaries, rather than paying also for other services the people offer to them. We have decline in investment. As an investor, no one is willing to lose. Some investors, once they notice there is downturn in where they invest, they begin to withdraw little by little. Rather than investing more, they sit back and watch whether it is worthwhile investing more. These strategies can include physical stimulus measures, monetary policy adjustment, like interest rate cuts, and efforts to restore customers and investors' confidence. The goal is to navigate through the downturns and eventually return to a period of economic growth and stability. Users' resistance to monetization. Users' resistance to monetization refer to the reluctance or pushback that users of a product or services may exhibit when they perceive attempt by the producer to generate revenue from them. The resistance can manifest in various ways, such as avoidance of your product, because they notice that you are using them to make money. Some will just avoid your product, or some will avoid your platform. Subscription evasion. Subscription evasion. Canceling of paid service, negative feedback, crumbs, user generated content, private consign. Some people have private consign, so they will have to decline. To mitigate users' resistance to monetization, companies often seek a balance between generating revenue and providing values to users. This can involve transparency in communication about monetization strategy, offering values added premium, service, and respecting users' preference. Regarding age and data privacy, balancing users' need with revenue generation is critical and crucial for the long-term success of many online platforms and services. As regard to this, many people are not offering the same service, as I have said. So the strategy for each company is different because they offer different values, different products, and different services. Solution. Solution is a specific answer to response to a problem or challenge. It's a way to resolve an issue or achieve particular goal. Solution can come in various forms, including strategy, actions, or method that address the problem effectively. And what are those solutions? Market research and customers' understanding. Market research is the process of gathering information about a specific market, including its size, trend, competition, and customer preference. It involves collecting and analyzing data to gain insight into the market and make informed business decisions. Customer understanding, on the other side, refers to the process of gaining the deep insight into customer needs, preference, behavior, and motivation. It involves understanding customers' pain points, desires, and expectations to develop products or services that meet their need effectively. Customers understanding and market research goes hand in hand. Both of them are research that you must do as a startup in order to understand the business and what your audience, the audience you targeted. You need to understand why your customers are in need of your product by making market research. Both market research and customers' understanding are essential for business to succeed in today's competitive market. By conducting true market research and gaining a deep understanding of their customers, business can develop products and services that are more likely to succeed in the market and build long-term customer relationship. Your relationship with your customers are very, very important. You can see some companies are losing clients because the relationship between them and their customers is not going smoothly. Customers' education. Customer education refers to the process of providing information, resource, and support to your customers to help them understand and effectively use your product or services. The goal of customer education is to empower customers with the knowledge and skills they need to drive maximum value from what you offer. This can include product knowledge. Your customer needs to know what your product is all about, the advantage of your product. Why should I buy your product when other people are also selling almost similar products or the same product? Why should I buy from you? Updating and changing. You need to update or upgrade your products, your services, in order to attract more customers. You also have the right to inform your customers the product you have on board or your new services, so that they can actually know what I have on board is far better than that. I am selling akara, you are selling akara. Why should I buy your akara? Should it be because my products have more onions in it, my akara have more onions in it than yours? Or I put chicken in my akara without chicken in yours? That is upgrading and updating your product. That's why you see some real estate, many companies in the past, when they are selling, when they were selling products in the past, selling of land, there was no something like promo offering you, when you pay 200,000, you get fridge. When you pay 200,000, you get a generator. There was nothing like that. They decided to create a strategy where they can attract people. Okay, if you pay 500,000 for a plot of land, spread for 2 years, then you have a ram, you have a goat. These are incentives to attract their customers and to make their customer feel they are more important than other companies, or they are more superior than other companies who does not give incentive to drive people closer to them. Customers' education is essential for enhancing the customer's experience, reduce frustration, increase customer loyalty, and ultimately drive customer success. It plays a vital role in building strong, long-lasting relationships between business and their customers. Diversifying revenue streams. Diversifying revenue streams refers to the strategy to generate income from multiple sources or channels, rather than relying solely on one source of revenue. This approach helps business reduce their dependence on a single product, service, or market, and spread the risk associated with fluctuation and downturns in any particular area. The several ways of diversifying revenue streams, some common examples include offering new products or services, targeting new markets to customer segment, developing strategy, partnership and collaboration, creating subscription or membership model, monetize data or intellectual property, explore e-commerce or online sales. At this point in time, there are some strategies that worked for me that did not work for others. I used the strategy of participating with partnership with some big company in real estate. For example, when they were selling pre-launch, I approached company, you have 5,000 acres. Okay, as a smaller company, I need 50,000 or 50 plots. I will buy at 50 plots. When that pre-launch, maybe could be going out for 500,000. Because I'm a lower company, they can sell for me a plot at 450. After 5 years, as a real estate company, I turn that investment to a bigger share. When that product is now selling at 15 million, I can now sell per plot at 15 million or 14 million. That is as a real estate, that is the model to which I use in generating income for a long-term sustainability. But we can't be the same because we are not offering the same product. A cosmetic company cannot offer that. If you are starting for a cosmetic startup, you can't go through the same process I will go through to succeed. So that is why you need to test different models. of monetization in order to succeed in your business. Exploring e-market, e-commerce or online sales. Like I, as a person, I believe some company need e-commerce to survive. Some company needs online sales to survive. So you need to know the right model that fits into what you are offering to the market or to the global market. Very, very necessary. That is why you need to study and to put money in order to make research. Your market research is very, very important at this stage. Quality and innovation. Both quality and innovations are essential for the success and competitiveness of organization as they contribute to customer satisfaction, growth, and continuous improvement. Organizations often strive to achieve a balance between quality and innovation. Maintaining high quality standards and fostering innovation to stay ahead in the respective industry. But interconnected concepts in various fields, including business product development and technology. We need to offer quality products so that at this point in time, offering quality products will attract more customers. For example, there was a time MTN was, we have Econet in Nigeria under telecommunication. After Econet, after some years, we have Etisalat, we have Glo, now we have Nigeria Mobile. What drives the customers is because of the quality of the services of MTN. That is why MTN could be rated one of the top, or Glo could be rated one of the top, or Nigeria Mobile could be rated one of the top, because each of the telecommunication companies have different strategies they are using to attract their customers. Innovation is the process of creating a new idea, product, process, or service that introduces significant improvement, novelty, or uniqueness. It involves in thinking creative, solving problems, and exploring new approach to meet involve need of market demand. Innovation can lead to competitive advantage, market determination, and growth, opportunity for organization. The relationship between quality and innovation is often seen as balancing act while maintaining high quality standard in crucial innovation can drive enhanced quality to market product more effectively or user-friendly. On this other hand, a commitment to equality can provide a solid foundation for innovation. Quality and innovations are interwoven concepts that organizations should carefully consider to stay competitive and deliver value to their customers. Achieving a balance between the two is often key to long-term success. Another thing that is important as we come towards the end of this topic is we need sometimes to look at our strategy. Sometimes we have expenditure. We believe as startup that increasing our expenditure will bring more revenue. Sometimes it's not true. That is why from time to time we need to revisit our expenditure, because sometimes we think we are spending more to gain more profit, but not knowing that we are spending more and we are not gaining more profit. So from time to time, we need to accept the fact that we need to revisit and reduce our expenditure as startup. Sometimes also, we need to let people go. People who cannot, or people we can do without in our services. Sometimes we have clients, they are troublesome, they are worrisome, they are giving us difficulties. They are worrisome and they are giving us difficulties as a client. We can let them go because maybe one person out of 100 is not a must. We should keep them to ourselves. Clients sometimes is difficult. Clients sometimes is difficult to cope with clients because they are giving us a very difficult economic problem. And sometimes also we need to give our clients this confidence that we can resolve their problem. As a startup, we need to be very responsible because, and also we need to be very responsive to our clients in order to build that confidence in them. Many years ago, as a startup, I got somebody who got property from me, and I have policy in my company to make sure that I sell property with CFO alone. Any property without CFO, I try as much as possible not to sell because of future problem and making the client to lose confidence in my company. Due to the situation Nigeria is in now presently, as a startup, I decided not to sell any property that does not have CFO in order to safeguard the trust any client I acquire have in me. So this client came and was like, this document, I could not verify it. I said, okay, my legal team will lead you in this situation to get every clarification you need. I have about 6 counsel of lawyers. They did every process with this woman. And at the end of the day, I noticed she was just trying to be troublesome because all verification process was done before selling and after selling with her. So she said she needs the money. I said, okay, no problem. Give me 15 days and I push back the product, the land to the market. I sell it 5% more higher than how much I have sold it to her. And I made my profit. And I let her go rather than destroying the competence of my company. Financial education is something you can never graduate from because it's something that is ongoing process. From the day you start your company till the day you come to an end, it is a continual process because the world is changing, the global market is changing, the global village is changing, and each time, each year, each century, different strategies keep coming up. Just to let you know today, Nigeria is ranking 31st in the cheapest data rating as of today. We are ranking 31st in the whole world, the cheapest data rating. Many companies are partnering in order to have data. At this point in time, I think I am time up. Please kindly ask any question.
Thank you, Mr. Raphael, for that presentation. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you so much for that presentation. We should have questions already in the chat session. If you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat section. Okay, I'm also trying to check from my hand here.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a question for you, Mr. Raphael. What role does customer segmentation play in designing effective monetization strategies? And how can startups identify their target customer segments?
Please come again.
Okay, I'll come again. What role does customer segmentation play in designing effective monetization strategies? And how can startups identify their target customer segments?
By number one, startup identify their customer segment by effective research, market research. You need to do a proper market research in order to identify those who need your product, so that you are sure that your targeted audience is being reached. For example, if I'm to sell cosmetic and I'm trying to sell cosmetic to a 50 years old woman, 60 years old woman, 80 years old woman, in our time of today, who are those using cosmetic more? We need to study the market, make our research so that we can know who our target audience is. Today, if I am offering a product that demands internet service, a 60 years old woman of our time today might not be able to use internet. But from 10 years old upwards to 45, they are the people at the target market if my business is very much involved with internet. Just as cosmetic also, I will target the female and the male within the range of what? From 15, 45, 50.
All right, thank you, Mr. Raphael. I have another question here. Should startups enroll company registration from the beginning of setup, or wait till the business gets a market fit?
I won't advise any startup to roll into the registration instantly. I started real estate 10 years ago when I was practicing and learning under my mentor, and I tried many options. After seeing that I have struck a balance, and I'm thinking that after looking at the market research and I have looked at myself, I have practiced and I've tried different effort or different strategy, so-called, to it. Then I saw that, okay, the market is now good for me to enter because I have a full knowledge and a good understanding of the market. Then I went into it proper in 2019 for registration. Then the registration came out at 2020. That was during COVID. But I actually started 10 years from today. So my 10 years experience is not just because I started real estate at 2020 because I got my registration registered in 2020. No, I started many years ago. I was studying the market, looking at the market, who are my target audience, writing proposals, making policy that will guide my company effectively if I start.
All right, thank you. I have another question. What are some of the alternative monetization methods beyond subscription model and advertising? And which one will you better recommend would be a better fit for a startup?
For a startup, no.
Yeah. So again, if I will help with that answer of that question, because I see the predator is a bit concerned. So for a startup, is a function it's not so much about which method is better. It's a function of the ecosystem you play and the industry you play. And again, to a large extent, the kind of revenue type you need to generate. So when you say subscription model, it's a function of what your products are or how your company is. So that's what, to a large extent, will drive the kind of revenue model that you like to use. That's how I like to say. But I don't know if Raphael will have another view about that now that we have his attention.
I think you have actually said my mind. But sometimes you just have to try you have to set up a strategy to test 2 or 3 models. And that is why you also have to look at those who are in the same line with you. For example, if I'm into cosmetic, I have to look at study how the bigger company operated, how they started. And that is why market research is also very important.
Okay.
Because sometimes, for example, I in the real estate sector, I have not stopped studying and I'm still studying. I will use an example. Android Home is one of the companies I'm still studying their process to today.
Yeah.
How they go through their process, how they have done it in the past, how they have evolved in their process to today. I'm studying it to correct my fault and also studying to look for how to advance in my own side of my business.
Okay. Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, and so Bola, to any other one, because I find that the issue about the user experience and revenue generation, it's a chicken and egg approach. Okay. When you ask which is important, user experience, revenue generation, again, startups, we need to help startups to know that they need to have their minds and their heads in a new space where customer acquisition and revenue per your user or your customer are becoming key matrices as you do valuations now, not just so much, the number of customers you have. Revenue is becoming a critical success and KPI factors for quite a number of startups. So again, you need to balance the two. It's a chicken and egg, which comes first, the chicken or the egg. You need to do the two together. You need to make sure that you are ensuring that customers are able to try your products. And as you try your products, you're looking for avenues for them to experience how to be able to charge and you're testing out how much revenue becomes the right amount of revenue. You do a lot of iterations where you're testing out and refining, but this is part of the journey because all businesses that have been built sustainably and built to last are constantly iterating. You're doing R&Ds, not only of products, but also of your price points, of the best ways to charge your customers and how to make revenues from them. So in implementing your monetization strategies, do not think, which is more important. The user experience needs to be constantly improved because the more you improve the user experience and your experience is stick factor where they stay longer, they spend more time with you, the more you can improve your revenue and the more a key component, which is average revenue per user, begins to go up, which is a big matrix that you need to measure as a startup, especially when you have things like apps or products and all that. So again, it's a chicken and egg approach. It's a chicken and egg approach, and I think that we need to consider the two together as we round up now. Sorry, speaker, I can go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Rafa, we have just one more question for you.
Okay.
What resources or tools are available to startups to help them research and analyze the performance of their choosing a monetization strategy? That will be the last question. I have just about 1 minute to quickly respond, so we'll wrap up the session.
Okay. Sorry, please kindly repeat your question. I'm sorry.
Okay, what resources or tools are available to help startups research and analyze the performance of their chosen monetization strategies?
First, you have advertisement and sponsorship. At first, as a startup, you need to advertise your startup, and you also need sponsorship to assist you in what you are about to go into.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rafael, for that response. Thank you, everyone.
Also to help you add some context to that. About, sorry, can you hear me, Bolatito?
Yes,
hello?
I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, I said performance is always about feedback. you are getting the right result, and then you come back. So basically, the amount of revenues you are getting, what's the impact of the revenues? Is it matching the set milestone or the set objectives that you have? So those feedback which come from your customers, which comes from your achievement of milestones and targets, is always a good pointer to know if your strategy is the right strategy. Because ultimately, he started the first slide by sharing that, you know, cash flow or revenues is the lifeblood of a business. So when you are using a particular revenue strategy, but you're not getting the kind of cash flow, you're not getting the kind of revenue that you expect, you're not getting the right kind of income. And you see that you're moving from a bond rate to a burnout where cash is beginning to, run out of the business. It makes whatever monetization strategy for revenue generation you have seems not to be working, or is not optimal. And therefore, you need to look at other verticals or other methods of monetization that can help optimize your revenue source. That would be my input and contribution to that question. Okay. So Bolato, you have the floor.
All right, thank you, sir. We've come to the end of the session. It's 6:01 p.m. already. So TechBiz is usually every last Thursday of the month, 5 to 6 p.m. Thank you, everyone, for joining the session. Thank you, Mr. Raphael, for that wonderful presentation. My colleagues will be dropping on we have a robust community on Telegram as well as WhatsApp. My colleagues will drop that in the chat session as I speak. Also, if you go to the Eco Innovation Center website, we have all the previous episodes from episode 1 to this current episode. We have it on the website, so you can as well check for the previous sessions we've had from legal practices, from our go-to-market strategies. So we have a robust library there on the EIC Telegram TechBiz page.
Yeah. Thank you. And before you go, again, it would be good to also mention that in case you have not registered for our flagship program, which is Art of Technology Lagos, please do make sure you go to our website and that you are a part of that, because it promises to be a very explosive session this year, where we're talking about the creative economy and the connected Lagos. In case you are yet to sign up, please go to our website and make sure you sign up for AOT 5.0, and I can assure you that it's going to be a good experience if you sign up for that. Also looking forward to hosting every one of us, as we will be looking at the 103rd episode of TechBiz, where we provide another thought leader who will be gracing the platform and who will be sharing to us insights and tools that will help startups able to scale their business as they move from ideation, of course, to growth, and then growth to scale and maturity. Thank you very much, everyone, for this session. Like my colleague Bolatito has said, and of course, from all of us at Eco Innovation Center here in Victor Awolowo Road, I remain your host of TechBiz. My name remains Victor Gbenga-Afolabi, saying thank you for keeping a day with us, and a big thank you to the team who puts this together, led by Bolatito and our team in the Eco Innovation Center, saying we look forward to hosting you again next week. Thank you very much, and do have a lovely weekend starting from tomorrow. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.